I haven't recorded making ice cream for a while, but that doesn't mean I haven't been making ice cream. I've just been making flavors that I've made before, so I didn't want to record. I kind of find the ones that I like and then I just revolve around those. But I thought I would make a video today because I've been perfecting my peanut butter recipe. I made a peanut butter one. I made a peanut butter video before. It was a peanut butter fudge and it turned out okay. I made a light version and I made a full fat version and they weren't really that peanut buttery. I like my peanut butter to really be forward in the flavor, and I've worked with friends and family, and I think I have a recipe that is good every time. It's super creamy, very peanut buttery, and no iciness at all, which is great. So I'm using this monk fruit sweetener that I got on Amazon. I think it was like $26 for this package. It's a big pack. It's like 48 ounces, so it's a lot, but that's still pretty expensive. So if you want to try it, I find it's really good in ice cream. I have found that it's better if you cook it either on the stovetop or in the microwave. So that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to take about equal parts of the sweetener and the peanut butter. I usually do about a half a cup. So I'll start with that. I'm going to put it in my bullet. You can use any kind of blender. You don't have to blend it, but I just find that it makes it better. So I'm trying to do everything the same each time. So I'm going to do half a cup, and this is the brown version. This sugar, it's monk fruit, 0 calorie, but it's golden. So it kind of smells like brown sugar. It really goes well with the peanut butter. I'm using PB Fit because I want this to be a very light ice cream. So I'm going to do this same amount, half a cup. You can alter this as desired. Now, I'm not going to measure the almond milk. I'm just going to put some in to cover it. About that much. And I'm going to put it in the microwave until it's melted. I would say about 1.5 minutes. But I'm going to do it a minute first and check it and then do the last half minute. That was about 1.5 minutes. I checked after a minute and it wasn't quite hot. I want the bottom to be hot and actually the whole thing to be warm so that it melts the sugar. Just to give you an idea of what it looks like, the sugar kind of liquefies a little bit and I think it really helps it to cream up. Okay, now I'm going to add all my other ingredients. So I'm going to add a protein powder. I'm using Isopure keto because it's low calorie and pretty healthy. You can use whatever flavor you want, and I'm just putting a scoop in. Vanilla is the key ingredient. I add quite a bit of vanilla. I think vanilla goes really well with peanut butter. Need to get more vanilla, going through it fast with these ice creams. And this is a key, vanilla bean paste. It really brings out the flavor and makes it delicious. Just a little dollop. You don't have to measure it. You can if you want to, but it's easier just to pour a little bit. This is optional. A little bit of vanilla jello. I like the flavor and it helps to emulsify and keep the ice cream creamy. You can not use that and just use guar gum, or you can just use the jello and not the guar gum. I poured maybe half a teaspoon. That's whatever, optional, depends on how much you like the flavor of jello pudding. This is guar gum. I just put it in a little tin and I'm just going to take a pinch. It's like 1/4 of a teaspoon. Just helps to keep it creamy. And the most important ingredient is the cottage cheese. You can use, this is a small curd, low fat. You can use non-fat or full fat. It really doesn't matter. Just if you're counting calories, you'll want to look at that. So I'm not gonna measure this. I'm just gonna fill it up to the top. Doesn't have to be all the way to the top, but I try to get it close. If you do it too high, too full, then it spills out when you mix it. So that's probably good. Now I'm ready to mix this up in my bullet and get it all creamy. After blending this up, it looks nice and creamy. Now I'm just going to pour it into my deluxe pint. And it's not going to go quite all the way to the top, which is fine. Now I'm going to adjust my flavoring and my thickness. I might add a little bit more cottage cheese or almond milk. It doesn't matter if it's not all mixed up using the blender. Some of it can be a little chunky, that's totally fine. So what I'm going to do first, I forgot to mention, I always add salt. You can add salt at any point, but I'm going to start with a little bit of salt. Just going to be to taste, and I'm going to stir this up, and I'm feeling it to see how thick it is. It feels really good. If anything, I might thin it out a little bit with some almond milk, but before I do that, I want to taste it. I want to see if it needs more sugar or more peanut butter taste. Well, it's good, except I didn't stir the salt in enough, so it's too salty. So I'm going to mix this up better, taste it, and then I'm going to add a little bit of almond milk to bring it all the way to the top. You don't have to, but you can do that, and then I'll freeze it. I cheated and I made this one the other day. It's the exact same recipe of the peanut butter light. And what I usually do, I don't count calories exactly, but I just get a general idea of how much is in there. It's about 600 for the whole deluxe creamy pint, and I usually eat half if I'm going to do like a meal replacement or a decadent dessert. If I'm just going to do a couple scoops, it'll probably be a quarter. So it's pretty good to do like 300 calories for a nice snack. I usually spin half and I save the other half for the next time. You can spin the whole thing, it doesn't really matter. But that's just what I like to do, mainly because it gives me an exact amount to eat before I'm done, because it's so good that I'm tempted to eat the whole pint, and that probably wouldn't be the best thing. So when I do it, spin it on half, I've got this frozen area that tells me when to stop. So I'm going to spin this on light ice cream. So I'm just going to put it in my creamy lid on. Turn it on, and I'm going to do bottom because I've already spun the top, and turn it to light and spin it. Sometimes when I spin it the first time, it's a little bit frosty like this, so I just spin it again. Depending on the consistency, I might add a little bit of liquid, or I might put it on mix-in, or I might do respin. I think because this one is not ready at all, I'm going to put it on respin. But I'm not going to add liquid the first time. It's kind of a judgment call. You can, but you don't have to. Now that I respun it, it's perfect. It's got that nice creamy consistency. So I'm ready to serve it up. And as I scoop it, I can feel that it's exactly the way I like it. It's creamy, but it still forms a ball. I like it. For me, I like soft serve, but I don't like when it just kind of mushes out into the cup. I like it to have a little bit of forming into a ball, and I like it to be melting slightly like this. And I found that this recipe is perfect every time. So now I'm going to taste it. It's delicious. It's peanut buttery, creamy. There's no iciness at all. And I think the balance is great.